Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today we're going to talk about 7 reasons not to move to Grand Rapids, and we're getting after it right now. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your good buddy Jimmy Kegle right here in the Grand Rapids Metro. If you haven't been on my channel, I do a ton of videos on what's like to eat, sleep, play, have fun right here in the Grand Rapids Metro. If you've not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and tap that little bell so you're notified each and every time I drop a new video. And if you have any friends that you think could benefit from this channel, I'm trying to grow my channel, so please share that with them. That'd be awesome. And I work with so many people that are moving to the Grand Rapids Metro, and I'm helping them buy, sell, relocate, you name it. If you are thinking about relocating or buying and selling in the Grand Rapids area, give me a call, give me a text. Right there's my number, and I'll do anything I can to help you out and take care of you. And however you want to get a hold of me, I've got your back. We're moving to Grand Rapids Metro. So I'm just going to get into it. We're talking about the 7 things that aren't great about Grand Rapids, and the top 7 things to not move to Grand Rapids area. And so we're going to talk about number 1, and that is deer. There is a ton of deer in the Grand Rapids area. I mean, they're just all over, and yeah, they can be fun and pretty to look at, and people like looking at them, but it's also dangerous. I mean, there's thousands of people that die every year in the state of Michigan from car accidents because they're not a huge animal, but they can weigh 140 to 180 pounds, and you hit that with your car going 70 miles an hour and you're in trouble. So it's just one of those things that, because of urban sprawl, I mean, you'll even see it where it looks like it's all city, but there'll just be a couple little small wooded area, and they'll be filled with deer because the Michigan climate is perfect for them. So if you don't like deer and you're worried about hitting deer, might not be the place for you. But if you're careful and got your wits about you, most people get through it just fine. Also, before I move on to number 2, I just want to say I was looking at some of my past videos, and I was standing back so far that made me look small. They're not very fun to watch, and I just want to be honest. It was because I put some serious weight on during COVID, which is embarrassing. The gyms aren't open, but it's also an excuse because of the stress. But I had it far back so you couldn't see me. And so I just want to apologize because those videos aren't as fun when you're standing way back and you look small. But that was just my issue with my weight, but I'm working hard to get it down, and I'm just dealing with it. So I know if there's other people that have dealt with weight issues during COVID, if you have any questions, you give me a comment. I hope there's nothing mean. But anyways, I just want to say that and apologize. And that's not going to happen anymore. I'm going to be up close and personal, and that's just the way it is. So number 2 is the parking. The parking downtown, I mean, there's all this growth and all these buildings, but there's still a lack of parking. So to park in a garage, if most of those are permitted, which means you work in the area and you're spending, an extra, $200 a month to pay for that parking. But if you're just going downtown for fun, you can use the meters. But, I think it's like 25 cents, gets you like 3 minutes. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like Chicago or New York. And I know I talked about it in another video, but it's worth another note because it's annoying. And I tell you, I don't know what the ratio for how many meter maids we have per people, but we got to have one of the highest in the country, because if you are gone for, even 2 minutes past that time, you're going to come out with one of those ugly green envelopes on your windshield, and it's going to be a ticket. And it's one of those ones where I think it's like $25. If you pay it like in the first hour and a half down to the city, it's only like 15. But as soon as you goes past that hour and a half or 2 hours, then it goes to 25. And then if it's not paid within 30 days, then they bump it up again. So if paying a lot for parking bugs you, this might not be the place for you. So, and again, I love Grand Rapids. I think it's a great area, but I gotta be honest, not everything about it is perfect, and we gotta talk about those things. So where are we at? So number 3, the school system. The school system for Grand Rapids Metro, which is all the cities and the suburbs around it, are almost all amazing. But for actually Grand Rapids, they're not very good. And I don't have any kids in the Grand Rapids area or the school system here, but I know enough people that have told me that it's just not very good. I know it it isn't grade near as well as a lot of the suburbs. Now, there are some charter schools that are amazing and some private schools if you can afford it, but I would say a lot of the people that live in the actual Grand Rapids school system are either that are in a nice enough area, they're sending their kids to charter schools or school of choice. But for a lot of people, especially lower income, they don't have that option, and that's a bummer and unfair, but it is the way it is. But again, you can get a good education in any kind of school system, but I just had to throw that out there and be honest that they're not very good in the actual city of Grand Rapids. No offense to anybody that goes there, but it's just the reality of what it is. So that's what, 2, so 3, and I've talked about this in all my other videos, but I got to bring it up as the winters. We get pretty bad winters in Michigan. I mean, I've had winters, I've been here my whole life, where you might get 1 or 2 snowstorms, and the rest of the year, even on Christmas, there's no snow. But there's also been many years where we get 3 to 4 storms where we've got 1 foot to 2 feet to 3 feet of snow, and they'll last for 3 or 4 weeks. Because one of the things about winter that is the bigger bummer is the lack of sun. So right now, it's pretty sunny out here. That's why I got these glasses on. But in the wintertime, it can go several weeks with no sun. And I don't care how upbeat of a person you are, that can become a buzzkill, to say the least. It's like, okay, dude, where's the sun? So I just got to bring that up. And then obviously driving in the winter, it's nerve-wracking. If you do come here, the easiest thing I can tell you, that we tell if you're a Michigander, just leave more space between you and the car in front of you that you normally would. If you're normally 1 or 2 lengths back, be 4 or 5. Just so if it's slippery or that guy or the guy or gal in front of you does something, that you need to make a correction, you just need time to do it. Because when the roads are bad, it's tough. And you got to be careful. There's obviously a lot more accidents. The allergies. I'm a severe asthmatic, and I have terrible allergies, so it's pretty rough on me. You can see all the trees behind us, which are pretty. We've got a lot of pine trees, and we have a ton of those cottonwood trees, and I call them just cotton trees. So when they bloom in the spring, and they do it a couple of times in the spring and summer, it looks like there's snow on the ground because there's these little cotton things all over, and it wreaks havoc on your allergies. And as someone that has them bad, that also affects my asthma, I know how annoying it can be. And then we have all the change of seasons, so your allergies, all these different change of seasons are really tough on your allergies, obviously, especially spring. Because we have a gorgeous spring. There's tons of apples and cherry trees in Michigan, but with that is just all that pollen. And then also all the pine trees. I mean, it's crazy. They have trees where sometimes you can bump it and you just see clouds of pollen. Ugh, I mean, it's making me wheeze thinking about it. But so that's another thing and just the change of season. So allergies, if you have bad allergies, again, we can get through it with some medicine, and I get shots in my arm every week, and that helps. But if you have allergies, it might not be the best place for you. You have no pro teams. If you love pro sports, there's no pro team in West Michigan. You gotta go all the way to Detroit on the other side of the state, which is like, just over 2 hours of driving. We do have awesome sports here, and the high school sports are huge here. I mean, every kind of sport, there's always a ton of spectators, and that's awesome. There's also Grand Valley here, so you got Grand Valley football, which is really fun, and some other Division II schools. You got Grand Valley basketball. You got Davenport, both those are Division II, but in the future, I don't see it being that long. They'll probably will be Division I. We used to have a pro, I was gonna say flag football, not flag football, but arena football. That was cool. That was awesome. And but that league's not here anymore. We do have like semi-pro basketball, like the Grand Rapids Drive, which actually is cool. You'll get, people that are either just getting ready, not quite ready for the pros, but they're gonna go to the pro, or you'll get people that are just knocked out of the pros. So you get some great basketball, and it's fun to go. It's fun to go and see that you're that close to see that good of an athlete. It's pretty incredible, but it's not the experience of going to a huge arena and seeing a pro team. So, if you love pro sports, West Michigan might not be the best place for you, but it is what it is. So, like I said, you go to Detroit, every sport team you can think of is there, and then we have great college sports here. Then you have Division I right in East Lansing, about an hour away from Michigan State, the best school in the state. I'm a state grad, so I'm a little biased, but U of M's good too. All right, so number 7. Reason not to move to Grand Rapids. Real estate's gone up, which for me is awesome, but for other people, because someone get priced out, it's not. The average home just in Grand Rapids has gone up 13.5% in the last year alone. rents are crazy. I mean, no one can afford renting here. It's ridiculous how expensive rents have gone up. But, you know, the bad thing is, and it's you know, placed a lot of people that want to live in Grand Rapids out of it because they can't afford it. There are some lower, you know, income areas, but then you're getting into some rougher parts of Grand Rapids, and I'd say pretty rough. And to get down to that 150, but those are few and far between. Most of them are 150 and obviously way up from there. So it's been good for the market, but because prices have moved up, you've got some people that can't afford it now, and that's always obviously a bummer. So those are the 7 reasons not to move to Grand Rapids, but I love Grand Rapids. I think you can overcome all those. But the reality is it's not for everybody. It's not a perfect city like nowhere else. So there you go. I hope I was close enough to the thing, to the camera, but there you go. So if you're thinking about moving to Grand Rapids or have any questions about Grand Rapids or any of the cities, give me a call, give me a text, however you want to get a hold of me. I've got your back when you're moving to Grand Rapids.